And welcome to another edition of Google is Evil, formerly What the Fuck, but whatever. If you've been watching, you know the story. If you haven't, too bad. You don't get to know the story. Haha. Anyway, alright, so there's a guy called Kurt Jamal. I think that's the pronunciation. Anyway, it doesn't look like that, but anyway, the theories of everything with Kurt Jamal. He's a video producer, movie producer. I don't know what you call it. He has a word for it somewhere. Anyway, he interviews people, and he's very articulate, great vocabulary. Really haven't scratched his knowledge base. He obviously has knowledge of some physics concepts. Kind of the abstract ones. He's a math kind of guy, I guess you would say. And has a fascination, like I said, lots of different subjects. I mean, I can go to one of these other videos, I think. Where the hell is it? There's one on, oh, okay. So he's had some pretty famous people, Eric Weinstein, different people, Noam Chomsky, others. So he gets some pretty good guests. And interesting, and all of that crap. So anyway, he's running a contest. Brilliant is putting up $5,000 for the winners, $1,000 for 5 people, and it's not getting much attention. So I should leave it that way, right? Then I'm guaranteed to win. But I'm a fair cop, so I will do what I can to promote the contest in the interest of having more content, not less, and blah, 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 blah. It's always a good thing, anything to encourage people to make videos and to put effort into them. Now, obviously, I'm not a big on the whole production value thing. I don't think that's necessary for intelligent people. They should be able to talk to each other in plain language without getting lost in minutia of every word being properly placed and all of that crap. But anyway, I mean, it's hard enough thinking, composing the thoughts into perfect language. A lot of work. Anyway, can't do everything. Blah blah blah. So all good stuff, really. Some of the subjects I think are kind of useless. He gives time to UFO people, which I don't think it deserves any time at all. It's it's paradoxical mush. The whole very concept of UFOs, visitors. We would never visit another planet. We would probe it. Okay, we'd send a we'd send a probe. We wouldn't bother sending people. Anyway, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. You can go through all the points to be made that, it's just nonsense. Anyway. So that's... I talk a lot in my video about consciousness, so it's not like I wasted the opportunity on just talking about a contest. So I didn't do that. So I won't do that here, but this is YouTube. And it's a YouTube contest, and there are rules, so you have to look underneath the description of his video, whatever. And the idea is basically just to take somebody else's idea and say it better, or present your own concept in physics, or your own ideas regarding the functions of consciousness and such. And is to try to say things in a way that can be understood by other people and responded to and all of that stuff. I think it's that simple. I think that's the agenda. Anyway, so, Alright, so we'll just play some of the video and move along. I did have a little bit of past interaction with Kurt. I tried to get interviewed. I tried to, I offered him money to interview me and he wouldn't take it and blah, blah, blah. But, whatever. Seems like a nice enough sort, but, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Something in between or some merging And I guess I would argue that no, there just has to be a third alternative, you know. You know. So I'm talking a little bit about you really can't merge the left and the right. You can't do this compromise thing. Oh, none of that crap works. There's right ideas and wrong ideas, blah, blah, blah. You need a alternative that gives a shit about the truth, okay, that isn't silly and isn't greedy and stupid. So yeah, a smart alternative. Yes, you need you need ideas that are correct, not popular. Blah 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 blah. You know, not meme popular anyway. I mean, I think the idea can be popular. It just has to be explained the right way. You know, and everything is cheated. You know, they sell everything. They sell bad ideas with wishful thinking talk and hope and, you know, bullshit. And so they get people to do stupid things because they try to make it out like it ain't stupid when it's stupid. You know, like borrowing money. Anyway, moving forward. Events happen to you in your life, and that's what it means. Okay, so a little bit about free will and the fact that now you're just a byproduct of what's happened to you. There's nothing else. There's no free part. There's no part that you don't, you know, you got to practice the violin to play the violin, blah 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 blah. You know, no, there's no place for anything free to happen. The universe ain't a place where free things happen. It's a place where cause and effect happens, and that's it. And there's just no room for the uncaused cause effect thingy. No, it doesn't happen. So give up on that crap. You're a robot. You're a byproduct of where you were born, your genetics, you know, who your teachers were, but you know, all kinds of, how many times you fell down, you know, you know, who knocked your teeth out. I mean, all kinds of things decided who you would be, and none of it had anything to do with any free thing. Standard environment. So it's lots of evolutionary advantages for learning. Okay, so this is just talking about how we get to this whole consciousness thing. Why are we conscious? Well, we're conscious because it works. Evolutionary, that's why. That's the first fact, okay, is that, yeah, this makes machines that are better. They're sneakier and schemier and all of that kind of crap, so it works. And that's why we are conscious. There's, you know, that's the simplest answer. And then the mechanical part is, I would just argue, it's just calculations in a brain. Okay, it's all happening in your brain. It's all synthetic. You know, it doesn't look anything like the output. Okay, I mean, what the calculator does doesn't look like 876. That's not what it looks like when it's calculating. Okay, so the product of your brain function, what it produces, is an event happening in this, me here speaking. Yeah, this output isn't what the input isn't, the mechanics. Oh, I should jump ahead. Belligerently denying the truth because they can't make any counter arguments. You make the argument, they go, yeah, right. So I marvel at the fact that we have all this stupid diversity and all this stupid conflict over what the truth is, and when, you know, it's all seeming very quite, you know, deducible to me. It doesn't seem like this is complicated. This isn't a complicated story. You know, there's turds and toilet paper. You know, you can figure out the cesspool. Oh, cesspool, that's what it is. It's not that complicated. Yeah, it's not that complicated. They make it much more complicated than it is. It's just it's a mechanical system, the universe. It's just making, you know, we know that the entropy rules change in these little isolated circumstances, these little closed environments, blah, blah, blah. The chemistry gets more complicated. The chemistry gets more complicated than the, whatever you want to call the thing that happens after chemistry. You know, you're making compounds, and then you make things that are compounded compounds. We're just compounded compounds, okay? And they can come in all kinds of forms and shapes and sizes, and it's just machines. So chemistry makes machines. Happened on Earth. Doesn't necessarily happen anywhere else, but it did happen on Earth. So I could use, you know, I thought of it the other day. You know, I had a stroke twice. Oh, yeah, we don't want to do that. Learning involved. And then the big difference is that one of these senses, was synthetic. Okay, it wasn't measuring. So this is the idea that, you know, look, you have these sense organs, right? We have our 5 senses, but then we have this 6th sense of feeling and thinking, and 7th and 8th and 10th, and, you know, you could just say they're just like the other senses. They're just something, a stimulus that comes into your brain. So your sensations are just another stimulus. So your brain is actually making fake senses. It's watching what's happening. Okay, it's watching some calculations take place, and it's sensing the calculation and saying, oh, that's the shitty story, right? Like the stroke story, right? So the word stroke automatically has a ooh, ee. Then I personally had one, oh, fuck. You know, so that's the sense. The internal sense is sensing the conversation, and it's reacting to the shit that it's been programmed to say, suck, shit. Make a feeling, poof. That's all it's doing. It's just calculating like all the other things, except it's not processing senses. It's making a sense. It's making a stimulus. It's making an input. It's not just processing an input into an output. It's taking the output and putting it back into the inputs. It's just doing a feedback. It's a feedback stream. It's an eddy. Alright, anyway, jump ahead. At 2, you know, somebody can just be fed up. I'm in the war. I'm not going to survive. Alright, so I'm talking about the selfish thing that can turn into the, you know, there's this altruism idea. This idea that you have an understanding of right and wrong. You understand I have to wear a white hat. I'm the Long Ranger. I have to obey a certain code. You know, I have to iron my shirt. Blah, 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 blah. And some of that can be all bullshit because you're doing it really because you're sick of being in the war and you'd rather jump on a grenade than get half killed. You do the math and you figure out, I'm better off, let me just find a grenade somewhere to jump on. You're ready to commit suicide and you're just saying, well, I can look like a hero. Okay, I commit suicide as a hero. I mean, I could just run into the German line and get shot, or I can pretend, okay, I sacrificed it all for the American way. When no, all I did was commit suicide in a way that made me look better. I mean, it is possible that that's what some people do. I could do that. I can understand that. It's possible. That would be my true motivation. And it would be possible that I would like the idea of having a nice monument saying I was a great person. I might be that slimy. You know, I might go for it. I mean, because I am corruptible, because I am selfish, because I have these shitty pieces of personality that are mixed with my really nice thoughts, my really nice thought themes that understand right, wrong, understand principles. You gotta defend the fucking principle. Principles are unshakable, unbreakable. You know, you gotta always honor the principle. But the fact is, I'm a selfish cunt. You know, and I'll try to find a win-win. I'll try to find some cheat where, well, I mostly defended the principle, but yes, I cheated a little for me. You know, I got a little bit of, you know, I made them drop some of the candy, you know. I told them a joke. Not to make them happy, but to make them drop some of their candy. You know. This is what we're made out of, okay? You can say you don't have any asshole in you. Yeah, we all have some asshole in us, and we all have something better. And it's just about the mixture. It's just about what's stronger inside of you, the good guy or the bad guy, the selfish asshole or the entity who understands I'm in a complex environment and I have to measure what I do based on how it's going to affect all of these other things that have a vital interest in what happens here on Earth. Alright, don't know exactly where I left off, but I go back to the dwarf analogy, you know, and what I'm really saying is that you have all these idea dwarfs and mood dwarfs, you know, sleepy, tired, fed up, blah blah blah, angry, you know. And the idea is that the real feeling one is a dwarf that can't be negotiated with. You can't tell Sneezy to stop. You know, you can tell Sneezy to stop sneezing. You can tell Dumbo to quit humming some stupid song. You can tell, you know, the dwarves can argue with each other, but they can't argue with Feely. Okay, the Feely thing you can't argue with it. You can't program it. You can't get to it. You can't modify it. And that's the problem, is that it's rigid. Once you're conditioned to react, it's really hard to uncondition you, to recondition you. It's a rather expensive process. Yeah, that's probably enough of that. All right. Blizzard, sell our insurance, and it really worked. So I'm just talking about, obviously people are idiots. Nothing wins for good reason. The whole thing is just so ugly and slimy. Ugh. To be this idea of stuff is going to take you a really long time to find, so don't lose anything. So now it's learning. Alright, so I'm just talking about how it happens every day in terms of like little stupid things happen. Like I got into a little bit of a coincidence circumstance where lately everything I drop bounces in some ludicrous way, and it takes me a half an hour to find the thing that I dropped. And it's just, it's been happening like 4 out of 5 times or whatever. So now I'm paranoid about dropping something because, I don't got a half an hour to waste looking for it. That kind of thing. So we have current themes, and we have long history themes, and we have, this kind of, it's all mixed in there. So your what's happened to me lately stuff is important. But it doesn't overcome what happened to me through my whole life. So a little bit of luck isn't going to fix decades of bad luck. Not to lose. Okay, that kind of thing. Have these ideas, okay, that just seem too silly. There's no way somebody could think that. So I do marvel in a couple of places that's something I just can't understand. I can't understand how people can't see how ludicrous they're behaving, or how stupid their ideas are, or it just is amazing what people can walk around claiming. And some of it is because they actually don't believe it. They're just liars, and they think it's fun to be a liar. And it's just like, ooh. I mean, that's really gross. I mean, all the flat earthers have to be liars, right? They know there couldn't possibly be a conspiracy of hundreds of millions of scientists have all conspired to make people think the earth is round, and faked all these satellite images, and faked all this stuff, and they can't possibly actually believe that, so they just like lying. And it's like, ooh, that is so gross. Unfortunately. Real full of assholes, frankly. But anyway, I mean, there's people who are just really disgusting. Anyway, so I think that's it. We'll just play a little of the ending, I suppose, where I lament something or other. It's just a calculator. Alright, so you're just a calculator. We're just this is, there is no good story here. This is just biological robots. It's a robot war. The ideas are at war. All this stuff's at war. It's just bloody and messy and sloppy, and the end is not going to be some, oh, we found the truth and it's a paradise. You're not going to any paradise. You're not going to any promised land. There's no place where all the bad goes away and everything's just wonderful. It's just a pile of crap. Okay, it ain't going to happen ever. There's no such thing. We strive on the whole evolutionary process is to make machines that aren't satisfied, that constantly have to pursue, fight, battle, war. That's what we're made to do. We're not made to sit in a chair and go, about nothing. Just for the sake of awing. And you don't pay this insane price that we're paying so you can make some asshole sit in a rocking chair and go fuck that. It isn't worth the price. Alright, anyway. So, enough of a video, I'd say. Okay, so contest, good. Interesting character. Oh, good. Like I said, some of the interviews are interesting, but I mean, frankly, the subject matter, it really isn't theories of everything, and it, and it's a little mushy for my taste, a little woo and mush, but whatever. It's better than the other crap on the internet, so I'll say that. And such. And some of these people, like I said, this guy's smart. No doubt about it. And they're good performers. Some of these smart people are pretty good at doing this thing. Sean Carroll, they're very good speakers. They're very good at composing arguments and explaining and all of those things. It's just that, unfortunately they're explaining flying pigs, which is really stupid. Kind of a waste of time. But anyway, we'll see one someday. If we all tap our heels 3 times and say there's nothing like a flying pig 3 times, everything will be okay. Yeah, someday. Somewhere over the flying pig, there will be fun, and everything will be just wonderful, because Google will be, a drugstore. Google will be, deposited where it belongs, in the center of a volcano. Be thrown in a volcano. Fuck. Anyway. So, till the next video and such, which might be a consciousness video. Who knows? I might make an entry, even if it's disqualified. So anyway, till the next time. And so forth, and whatnot. Yeah, outro. Yeah, that's a good outro music. Dun, 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 dun.